Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well. Quick update for you on what's happening here on Bitcoin today. Very interesting situation because Bitcoin, as I'm making this video, in fact, just in the last few minutes, as a matter of fact, Bitcoin took out an important level of support. It took out the lows of last year and the lows of this year as well, the lows of January. As you can see here, it just took that level out near the 6,500 level. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Bitcoin now acts at this point, how it behaves. Is it going to hold this level or not, this key support level? Before we continue, let me just also mention this point. This is actually one of the reasons why I mentioned in my previous video a few days ago why I chose to get out at this support level that I mentioned. So you may remember my previous video, I mentioned to you that I got out of Bitcoin essentially here when it hit my stop at 8,300. There it is. So why? Because essentially we broke structure. We broke market structure. We broke support. We broke the trend line, as you can see here. That was a trend line being broken. And guys, anytime a trend line gets broken and you're breaking structure, you're breaking market structure, that becomes a very dangerous situation for the market. It becomes a very dangerous situation as far as the price is concerned, because that increases the risk to the downside, as we can see here. And I'm mentioning this for a specific reason, because when I made my video a few days ago that I got out of Bitcoin at these levels, near 8,300, a lot of people were saying, oh my God, Alessio doesn't believe in Bitcoin, or Alessio does not believe in the fundamentals of Bitcoin, or Alessio hates Bitcoin because he got out of Bitcoin. Guys, no. Most of you who watched my videos from the past know that there have been times I've been bullish on the market, we've been right to be bullish on it, and there have been times we've been right to be bearish on the market as well. The simple reason why I chose to get out of Bitcoin was to limit risk, because that is the job of a trader. Again, I just want to mention this point one more time, because I did mention in the previous video, but I highly recommend you read this book by Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. This is what Mark Douglas says, which is, for traders who have learned to think in probabilities, there is no dilemma, because you've predefined the risk, so it doesn't pose a problem. He says over here, because traders have learned that trading doesn't have anything to do with being right or wrong on any individual trade. All right, guys, by the way, this is what amateurs only believe. The only kind of people, who believe in that trading is all about being right or wrong, that's because they have absolutely no experience, or they haven't read a single book on trading, analysis, or risk. And here's what he says down here. We have to be rigid in our rules, but be flexible on our expectations. So what does it mean to be rigid in your rules? It means you have to follow the rules you've set for your trading, the rules on when to enter, when to exit, and also when to limit risk. And it says be flexible on your expectations. There's another good point I want to mention here, because so many people think that just because price is dropping, that means we have to go in and buy. Guys, if ever anybody tells you that just because price is dropping, therefore it's cheap and you should buy it, you should ask them this question. Always ask them this question. Other than the fact that the prices got cheaper, what other reason do you have for why you're deciding to buy? All right, guys, always ask that question. That's a mistake I learned badly myself. Guys, you remember my video from about a month ago as to how I lost $50,000? Well, the reason why I lost $50,000, and I know $50,000 is not a lot of money today, but it was a lot of money for me back then, back in the 90s, when I was a young student, just starting out my life. But here's the thing, guys. This is the mistake I did in the late 90s. You see, guys, as the price of my investment kept dropping, people said to me, oh, you should buy some more. It's cheaper. Yeah, look, it's cheaper. You should buy some more. And I kept buying. And then so did everybody else. Price got cheaper, and I kept buying. Until what happened? Until my investment pretty much went to zero. All right, guys, now I'm not saying that Bitcoin is going to go to zero. Of course not. But what I am saying is you've got to limit your risk. You can't just buy simply because it's getting cheaper. That doesn't make any sense. So guys, anytime someone says to you, it's cheaper, so you should go buy it, ask them this question. Other than the fact that the prices got cheaper, what is the other reason? What other technical reason can you give me as to why I should go in and buy? What's the other reason do you have for being bullish? All right, guys? So if you just ask that question, by the way, guys, if you just ask that one simple question, if they cannot give you a reason, guys, if they cannot give you a second very justifiable reason, a good reason as to why you should be bullish or why you should buy, don't get in. All right? Just saying, oh, it's cheaper, it's undervalued, is not a good enough reason. All right, guys, that's why, of course, we use our tools, we use our methods of analysis to find a predictable outcome. Let me mention that point one more time. You need a signal or some kind of a pattern to give you a predictable outcome that the price is about to reverse. All right, guys, or it's about to go up in your direction. For example, an uptrend. So, guys, that's why I said I'm getting out of Bitcoin in my previous video. Why? Because it broke the uptrend line. Look, there it is. It broke the uptrend line right here. Therefore, I had no reason to be bullish. And I'm saying this because, I get tired of these trolls and nincompoops, you know, commenting on my videos saying, oh, Alessio doesn't believe in Bitcoin because he sold his Bitcoin. What a bunch of garbage. You know, guys, my job here in these videos is to give you reliable and fair and honest analysis. Now, sometimes I'm going to get it wrong. Of course, we're all human. We're not going to get it right every single time, but the majority of the time we get it right as well. So bottom line, guys, my job here in these videos is to give you a reliable, fair, and honest, and as much as I can, an accurate analysis of the markets based on facts, based on evidence and analysis. So that's why, guys, anybody who did the exact same thing I did, and they got out here when Bitcoin essentially broke support, and the trend line there, as you can see, essentially would have saved themselves a lot of headache with this massive downward drop in the market. All right, guys. And again, I know I'm going to get people saying, oh, well, it's cheaper, you should buy. Well, again, other than the fact that it's cheaper, what is the other justification do you have for buying? What is the other technical signal do you have or pattern do you have for buying? Now, let's go on to the next point. How low could this go? You can see it's broken support. Let's go on the weekly time frame chart. So my good friend who's a mathematician actually has a methodology for predicting downward targets. And using his methodology, I have this now potentially going towards 5,500. And actually that's convenient, by the way, because that methodology that my friend, again, he's a mathematician, the methodology he uses comes very close to my own target here at the 200 weekly moving average there, 5,500 approximately. It could be a very strong level of support. The weekly 200 simple moving average, which by the way has held Bitcoin before, as you can see that right there. There it is. Bitcoin has held that level beautifully back in 2018. By the way, guys, that level that Bitcoin bottomed actually was the same level that the S&P also bottomed. If you look at the S&P charts, so this is the chart in the S&P, and notice that's precisely where S&P, the stock market's also bottomed, which is something I mentioned to you in my previous video too. There's a correlation. At the moment, there's a high correlation between the stock markets and Bitcoin, which is not surprising, by the way, guys, because today's drop, as you can see, was preceded by a drop in the stock market, as a matter of fact, as you can see. So downward pressure in the stock market seems to be putting downward pressure on Bitcoin as well. So I would say watch the stock market as well, guys, because if the stock market pretty much soon, let's say, forms a bottom, if the S&P 500 puts in a bottom and starts to rally, I think that could put upward pressure on Bitcoin as well. So guys, this is a level I'm watching right now on Bitcoin. We have momentum at the moment to the downside on Bitcoin. At the moment, you can see here we're broken key structural support. I would also say this, if Bitcoin can suddenly recover, so let's say, for example, Bitcoin suddenly bounced and recovered and managed to go back above this support level, about 6,500, and closed above 7,000. All right, guys, so if I see a bounce in the next few days, or perhaps by next week, if I see a sudden bounce and a jump over this resistance level, 6,500, and going back above 7,000, that actually would be a very strong bullish signal, by the way. So, but at the moment, it looks like it's possible we might go and test that downside target as well. All right, guys, I hope this video helps. If it has, please give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video update. Thanks very much, guys. Again, please remember, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe today. And also, please hit the bell icon to make sure you're notified of our future video updates. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.